Oh, well, hello there. You've caught me sitting at my desk in Black Mesa Research Facility doing absolutely nothing shady at all. Don't mind the blasted window over there. Completely normal, completely up to standard, completely up to code. Nothing to see, folks. So, at this point, you probably know I'm full of crap, and with good reason. So, my name is Mike. I go by Guns Requiem on the forums. The reason I'm making this video is to try to figure out exactly where Dr. Horne went when everything went down, and where he might be now. So first, I figured it would be best to start in his office because, obviously that makes the most sense. There will be a little bit of jumping around in this video, only because the levels don't sync up completely with the way Dr. Horne, or at least the way that I feel Dr. Horne actually went. So those may not match up. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So first and foremost, let's just say Dr. Horne is sitting here just minding his own business, figuring out how many pizzas he's going to have for the day, waiting on his lunch. The reason I say waiting on his lunch is that we know, based on the messages that are on the monitors, that he had a pizza waiting for him in the canteen. So let's assume maybe he wasn't sitting in his office, but maybe he went down to the canteen to grab his pizza. Then along the way, he realized bad things were happening. So let's go ahead and pretend we're Dr. Horne and let's go on a little journey. So here we are, moseying along. Don't mind the MP5. I'm assuming Dr. Horne didn't have one of those. It wouldn't really make much sense. Also, don't mind all the bodies. I had some cleaning up to do before I could start the video. So anyway, a quick look around up here doesn't really give us much in terms of like bodies or anything like that. Normally by the time you get up here, you're almost done with the level. You come up here, you turn the laser on, the laser shoots through the wall, and then you go downstairs. You save the scientists that are, well, you turn off the little claw thing or the surgery robot, and then you go out to the main lobby, and then that's where you fight the HECU. So we're not going to go that way, though, because Dr. Horne would not have gone that way. It wouldn't have made sense for him to do that. So Dr. Horne really only had one way to go, because up here, here's the laser. We haven't activated it yet. And then really the only other ways to go are the maintenance or X02 and X01. So here's X02 based on the map. And then X01 is on the other side over where Dr. Horne's office is, over here. So other than those two rooms, there's really nowhere else for him to go except downstairs. So again, we're assuming that he went downstairs. There could be a couple reasons for it, but my assumption is he went downstairs to grab his pizza. So that's where we're going to go. So now the first thing to keep in mind here is that underneath these stairs, there's that secret room that has the little guy sitting in the chair over in that corner. Over in this corner is the TV. The radio's up here on a little file cabinet, and then down directly below that, there's a hatch. My assumption is the hatch was how they got in, because there's really no other entrance to get in there. So the hatch isn't important. Its only real import is the fact that it's how they got in. So originally when I did this examination, I thought Dr. Horne went this way, and I still think that. But first, it's very important that I make note of this, because otherwise he could have just gone directly through here and then carried on his way to where I think he went, which I'll get to here in a bit. But he could have just, actually it's down this hallway, he could have just carried on to where he needed to go. But I think there's more to the picture here, more to the story. So I think what happened is this door was blocked. I think this door was shut for whatever reason. And so the first two bodies he would have encountered would have been these two. And so you could see something has dragged them. We don't have any footprints, so we don't know that Dr. Horne was here, but we do have a handprint, which suggests that either one of the bodies while they were being moved created that handprint, or someone else was here. So I do feel like Dr. Horne originally went this way and then stopped because this door was shut. I can't prove that, but hopefully the rest of my examination will help you understand why I believe that. So let's assume that he came this way. He saw these two bodies, or there is an alternate theory in that he never saw these bodies, but was in fact on his way to the canteen, was going to cut through Lab A to get there, and then that's when everything went down. So either assumption, either way, it all comes out to the same path. And that path is this. So he gets downstairs, he's heading towards the canteen, right? The quickest way to the canteen, he can go that way. He'd have to go through the main lobby, he'd have to go down the hallway, and then he'd have to go to the canteen. Well, why would you do that when you can just cut through Lab A? So I think he cut through Lab A, and that's how we start this. So I'm going to go ahead and skip chapters here real quick, because I need to pull up a save. Actually, I might have to create a new game. So we'll just do a new game, and we'll start the questionable ethics chapter, and I'll show you exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So the key thing here is that when I get to the end, it'll make a little more sense, but the key thing here is that he did not need to make that circle. So why did he? And that's where the whole, okay, so maybe he had a pizza in the lab or in the canteen. Maybe that's why he did it. We don't really know. But long story short, I don't believe I counted this body in my examination, because I don't think Dr. Horne would have been down here. But I may have. I'm not really sure anymore. But where we start is on the opposite end of Lab A, because we assume Dr. Horne, or I assume Dr. Horne cut through there to get to the canteen, which would make the most sense, and I'll show you why here in a second. So this is the Lab A door, right? So there's a body in there, as we all know. There's a pizza's a lie message right up there. Actually, I should just no clip and show you. It would make more sense to do that. So here's the pizza's a lie, and then there's our first cipher, right? So I think this was the first message that Dr. Horne left. So at this point, whether he came this way for the pizza or he came this way because he saw those two bodies in the hallway, at this point we know there's a body here. Either because Dr. Horne put it there, or because at this point he realizes things are going down and the HECU is starting to kill people. Hard to say. One thing that interests me is the fact that this door is not all the way locked down. So the assumption is that this happened after Dr. Horne passed through here, which means this body would have been here at that point because he left this message on the wall. So then maybe the body stopped the door. I don't know. But the point is, I think the door... Obviously, the door closed after Dr. Horne passed through here. But also, he left that message on the wall. So that's the only thing that makes sense. So anyway, that's body number... either number 1 or number 3. Depending on if you're counting the two in the aforementioned hallway. Which I am. So for my sakes and purposes, we're at number 3. So Dr. Horne comes up here. At this point, he's like, alright, well... there's bodies everywhere. Everything's gone to hell, but I still want my pizza. Either that, or he knows that the only way to get to safety, which I'll show you at the end of all this, is this way. So he comes this way. Here's our second body, or if you're counting along with me, hold on one second. If you're counting along with me, this is body number 4. So he encounters that body. There's nothing up here, or at least I haven't found anything up here that raises any eyebrows. So I don't think he came up here. I think he probably went straight through. He saw all this going on. Here's body number 5. He comes through here. He gets through here. And then what do you know? Body number 6. He can't pass through the women's room because it's locked. So he ends up going through the men's room. Here's body number 7. He comes through here, and finally, he's at the canteen, right? So he's either where he intended to go in the first place, or now he's heading on a path that he know will take take him back through the facility, back around to where he wants to go. Okay? So I believe we're on body number 7. So in here, we have bodies number 8 and 9. And then, of course, his pizza that he never picked up. So the question is, was the violence enough to make him not want the pizza? Or was he already on some other kind of mission? So one running theory that I have is that for whatever reason, he wanted something with the blood, or there's something with the blood. Either he thought that something was being lost because these people were getting killed, or he literally just snapped because of everything that was going on around him. I don't know the answer, but I do think there's something with the blood. So anyway, we have bodies 8 and 9 there. And then originally I went that way because I saw that body sitting there. But let me show you the way that I think Dr. Horne went. So I think he went this way. He was checking to see what was going on with all of his other, his other colleagues. We come to body number 10, which is right near the budget, which I think was meant to point out this, but it's still interesting that it's right here. Also, bullet holes. So this person was likely killed by being shot. So that's body number 10. Body number 11. And then now we come to body number 12. And then body number 13, Dr. Bottomley, who we know was shot. I did a whole examination in the blog post. I did a test where I stood here, I stood back here, and then I stood all the way back here with the shotgun, and I tested the spread. The spread doesn't match that. I'm pretty sure that's an MP5, and I'm pretty sure the HECU are the ones who killed Dr. Bottomley, assuming that is Dr. Bottomley, of course. And I think that because of the spread, I'm pretty sure that's an MP5, but also the bullet size. So if we do a normal handgun, the bullet size varies quite a bit. But here we have all the same size. So I'm assuming it was the MP5. I can't prove that, but based on the spread and the bullet size, I'm pretty sure it was. So anyway, we have body, what is that now? 13, 14, I can't remember which one we're on. But so that's that. And then next, we go this way. So we come up around here. We know at this point that Dr. Horne is fuming probably because he knows his friend is dead. Or he's not concerned because there may be more to the story, which we might not uncover until much later. We did have a hint that Dr. Bottomley may not actually be dead. I'm not convinced of that theory. I think he might actually still be. But that's the information we have thus far, is that it's possible he's not. So next I came here, realized there was a blood spot. Noticed this sign. So that's like our big 4 people. Dr. Horne, Dr. Stone, Dr. Welsh, and Dr. Foreman. They're all mentioned in the ARG, I'm pretty sure. So this is maybe not super important, but it definitely lends itself to make us believe that Dr. Horne was here. So next I'm thinking, okay, so he can't go through there because as we find out later, that door is secured by the security office. So he couldn't go through there. So that really only leaves this door. So he comes through here. He gets to this conference room. There's another body in there. So that's number 14 or 15 now. Bullet holes in the wall, as we see there. So HECU. At this point, we can assume either the HECU killed all these people or the Xenians did. I'm convinced the HECU did. Only because with the blood spatters everywhere, the bullet holes, it makes sense. So at this point, we come to body 15 or 16. I'll have a final count by the end. It'll make more sense here at the end. But originally, I thought, so there's another security room on the other side that you don't get to until the level's over. I thought the footprints were leading right to the hatch in that room. That's not the case. And I'll show you later why I say that. You can see here that these footprints continue. So they don't stop here at the hatch in this room either. They continue and they go to the console. So what does that mean? Either Dr. Horne was doing something here, or he was trying to open 1 or 2 or multiple doors somewhere in the facility. So let's assume he was trying to open these 2 doors, right? So he opens the door, he goes back, we come across our 16th or 17th body, And then at this point, now this door does open when you come back around, but right now it's locked. So he goes this way. Here's where we come across multiple bodies. So there's a body here. There's a body here. So that's 1718. And then there's a body in here. So that's 1819, right? So maybe he fires off the discharge, he clears out whatever's in the room, and then he carries on, right? So I did not count this body in my examination only because there's no blood. It doesn't look like the others either. So I'm assuming that that body doesn't count. And I'll tell you later here in a minute why I think that is. But it'll all come full circle here in a second. It'll make way more sense as to why I'm making these assumptions. But anyway, so that body doesn't count for our purposes. So he comes through here. And this is where things get interesting. Let me take out these guys first. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting, right? So there's no body here. But these are Dr. Horne's footprints. And we know that because they're, look at the little, I call them little planets or little Saturns. They look like little Saturns, like a little planet with rings, right? We know these are his footprints. And I'm making that assumption. But I know that they are his footprints. Because for the purposes of the ARG, it makes sense. Either that or somebody else in an HEV suit. But I think it's Dr. Horne. So, at this point, the question is, why does he drag this person into the maintenance room? Why this person in particular? Is it just because he was trying to hide the body? I mean, we know this person died in front of here because, first of all, the blood spot, but also the bullet holes. So why bring them into the maintenance room? Well, whatever the case, we know that these are his footprints, and so we know that he continues on this way. We don't have a final body, or we don't have another body, but we do have the footprints. So we continue on, right? So we get over here, and we have, I believe this was body number 19. Or this might have been 18. I don't really remember. I'm sorry. So here we have another body. And then we go upstairs into the... So I went over here. This is just that return door. This takes you back into this room, which we were already in. But you come up here to the... I guess that's Cyronics. I don't know what you would call that. Chironics? I don't know. So you come up here, and here's another body. And then we have another Tesla overcharge. So, or discharge. So at this point, I don't think he used it. Because, well, he might have. Because I think these guys are safe in here. I can't remember exactly how this room works. But there is a way to kill them without activating them. Like getting them into the hallway. I'm pretty sure there's a way to kill them with this. So, anyway, we have another body. So maybe Dr. Horne went up there, he did his thing, and then he realized that he could go through the room now. So then he goes through this room. He continues on his way. Alright, I'm going to have to kill these guys. I'll kill these guys. Alright. So he comes down here, and then now this is our final room. So, this is why I think this is the last body. And I think this is why he didn't come this way originally. Or this is why I think the door was shut and he couldn't come this way originally. Because if you come right over here, you're back to the main stairs where he would have come from. Right? So, I think he was... maybe at some point, whether he went to get his pizza first or whatever the deal is, at some point he realized he couldn't come this way. But he was heading for this. Okay? And I'm going to show you why I think that here in a minute. So, he was heading for this door at some point. Whether initially, after he went for the pizza and realized everything was jacked up, at some point this was his final destination. At least in terms of this area of the facility, questionable ethics. And here's why I think that. I'm going to show you. So, remember this door, okay? keep this door in mind. We know it's a freight elevator. We have no idea where it goes, but keep this door in mind, right? So I'm going to change the level to C2A4. I want to say it's G. We're going to try G. I'm pretty sure this is where it is. And then if you go all the way down here, so this is a secret area that I recently discovered. It has a brushwork truck in it. Storm did mention to me that there was a hidden area somewhere with something that he created. So that's how I found this. But the key thing here, first of all, we have our pizza's alive messages. There's one over there. And then there's one here. But look at the doors, right? Look at the doors. They're not exactly the same as, at least I don't think so. I think these are red. You'd have to look back earlier in the video. I can't remember, but they look pretty darn close to the other ones. So my theory is that once he realized what was happening, once he scrawled all his messages and, you know, he decided to move on, he came down here using the freight elevator. But then the question is, where did he go? Because there's a pizza sitting in this truck. I don't know if you can see it. I might have to no-clip to it. So there's a pizza sitting in this truck in the passenger seat. And then there's Dr. Horne's placard right here. So the question is, at least in, you know, in terms of the ARG, right? Did he take the truck and leave? And the truck is just here for posterity's sake, so that we can follow the story. Because otherwise we'd have no way of knowing there was ever a truck here, right? So my theory is that after everything went down, he took the freight elevator down and he took it to this truck here. He got in the truck and he drove to Silo D. Or he drove through these doors. So that's where I'm going to leave this video, because the next thing that I want to try to figure out is what Silo D is. I'm pretty sure it's part of the whole rocket thing, which could mean that Dr. Horne either took the portal or somehow found his way to Zen. And I'm going to figure out how, but I just wanted to make note of this. The other thing to keep in mind is that maybe they were visiting Zen all along, and Dr. Horne didn't actually leave through the gate. The only thing that makes me think that he actually did go through the gate at the end of all this is the footprints. Because they look like, at least to me, HEV suit footprints. And so at that point, he would be in the HEV suit. And there's also no return footprints. So that suggests a one-way trip. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave this video. If you have any comments, I would appreciate it. I do have an examination on the blog where I'm going to post this video. I would appreciate any of that. Any comments that you have, any thoughts, any, you know, anything that I may have missed, any points, anything at all, I would appreciate it. I think we can figure this out. I think there is a very linear path that he would have taken, especially if he was panicking or something of that nature, and I have no doubts we can find it. So anyway, I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.